Alright, so today we're going to make some delicious carnitas, which are, it's actually a very slowly cooked pork dish. It's a New Mexican or Mexican style, and the great thing about carnitas is that it has a really sort of fork tender texture to it. And then you can, take the carnitas, wrap it in tortillas with some salsas or some hot sauces, maybe some cabbage for some texture, anything you'd like. But the idea is that you take this pork shoulder or pork butt that really takes a long time, usually about 2.5 or 3 hours when you cook it in a conventional way. But I'm going to show you how to use my pressure cooker. Now I have to be honest with you, I hadn't used a pressure cooker until I started doing Iron Chef. And with Iron Chef, we only have 60 minutes to cook about 25 different dishes. We have to cook 5 dishes and 5 of each. So you have to make 25 dishes in an hour. And if the ingredient was something like lamb or some kind of beef or some kind of meat that was slow cooking, obviously we needed to cook it like in 45 minutes. And so that's why I learned how to use a pressure cooker. So let me show you how to use this thing, and you'll use it for the rest of your life, I promise. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take some of our pork shoulder here. I just diced it up. It's coarsely diced. And I'm going to season it with some salt and pepper. Make sure you season it, very liberally. We don't want any bland carnitas. And I have some chili powders here. This is ancho chili powder and some New Mexico chili powder. And if you can't find these spices, I offer these on OpenSky all the time. And it's just pure forms of chili powder. One is kind of fruity and spicy. One's a little earthy and slightly spicy. They're not sort of burn your mouth out, but they have really fantastic flavor. And actually, when we put in the chicken stock and tomatoes, this is actually a good thing to know. The chili powders not only act as something for flavor, but they also are thickening agents. So it gives a really great texture to the liquid and the juices that the pork is cooking in. So think about that; it's great for moisture. All right, so we have salt, pepper, chili powders. So we're going to put these right into our pressure cooker. Now this pressure cooker. Sometimes pressure cookers are really hard to use. People kind of fumble around with them, but this one is really easy. All you do is turn the mechanism like that. I'm going to take this timer out. It's good to have a timer, but make sure you take it out. Just kind of put it in your pocket so you don't lose it. And then this just lifts off just like this. And then it's just like a regular pot, okay? But obviously we're going to cook with all this incredible pressure, and we're going to cut the time from like 2.5 to 3 hours to like 40 minutes. I mean, it's amazing. All right, so now we're going to take our pork. I'm going to put it right to the pressure cooker with all that seasoning and all the spices. And you might as well make a good amount because why not? It's great for leftovers the next day, and it keeps really well. All right, then I'm going to take some aromatics, some onion, a Spanish onion. I'm just going to cut this up coarsely, and then it's going to crush a little garlic, some fresh garlic cloves. So think of it. You have the garlic, you have the onions, you have the chili powders, and it's going to become, and the pork is just going to have such an amazing flavor. Very delicious, little spicy, little fruity, little earthy. You're going to look like a total pro. Okay, now, a little bit of acidity. You can use lime juice, red wine vinegar. I just have some white wine vinegar. Just a little bit in there. You got to have a good balance of flavors. So with all this rich pork, we want a little bit of acidity to kind of cut through. And those chili powders, they can be obviously a little bit spicy. Sometimes they have a little bit of a bitter edge to them. So what I do, this is a totally cool secret. I take some maple syrup, or if you don't have maple syrup, like a little bit of honey, and just kind of a splash of that in there. It's not going to make it sweet, but it's going to give it a really nice balance to the pork. All right, and then I'm going to take some chicken broth. Now we don't want to fill you don't want to fill up your pressure cooker higher than 2/3 full, and obviously we don't have a lot of pork in here, and just almost like as if you were braising. So you want to put the liquid about halfway up to the volume of the meat, and then I like little tomatoes in my carnitas, so just some canned tomatoes and some of the juices from there as well. Okay, maybe another splash of salt, a little sprig of salt and pepper, and then just a couple of more, maybe a teaspoon more of chili powder. Make sure we have that flavor. Now all we do is we cover it, okay? Just go like this. Right on like that. And then just turn the knob, and it's closed. Make sure this is down, and make sure you take your timer out, put it in your pocket. Okay, and we're going to go right to the stove, and we're going to put it on sort of medium-high and let it cook for 40 minutes, and we're going to be eating some carnitas. Alright, so it's been about 45 minutes. I'm going to take the pressure cooker off the stove, and I'm going to actually run it under cold water to kind of cool it down, the cover. Okay. Alright, so we're just going to turn the knob. It just comes right off. Careful that steam. Alright, that's what you want to see. Beautiful. Let's give it a taste. I want to make sure it's nice and tender. Oh my goodness. That's amazing. It's just so incredibly tender. So I'm going to take our pork. Great flavor. And what I like to do is actually take the juices and reduce them down to make a sauce to pour over it. You can see how fork tender this is. Why can't I find the forks? Okay, check it out. See that? Can you get in close here? It's just unbelievable how it's just so fork tender. It's beautiful. In such a short period of time. All right, I'm going to reduce some of this sauce. I'm going to pour the sauce right over the pork. All right, so then I take all this this beautiful liquid that we actually cooked the pork in and reduce it down, and so the chilies help to thicken it. You know, it's the chicken broth with the juices from the pork, some canned tomatoes, and the red chilies, and I'm just going to pour this right on top of the carnitas, and it's just going to add even more flavor and obviously some moisture as well. Just delicious. It's kind of like a pork stew. Okay. Look at that taste. Really good. A little salt and pepper. And now we can make our carnitas tacos. Obviously, you know, a kind of fun thing to do if you have lots of people over, if you're having a party, or if you're just feeding your family Sunday dinner, for instance, you'd make a big pot of these carnitas, this delicious pork shoulder that we cooked in like 25-30 minutes. And then you could, you know, maybe arrange some salsas or some hot sauces, some guacamole, some slices of avocado, some sour cream. I mean, you can create sort of like a carnitas bar. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it really simple. I'm going to take some corn tortillas, some little steamed corn tortilla, or you could use flour, of course. And I'm going to take some of our carnitas, and then some cabbage for some crunch. Maybe a little fresh cilantro. And then this is known as cotija cheese, just a dry, crumbled, very mild cheese. We're just going to wrap this up in our corn tortilla. And just like that, pressure cooker style, carnitas for everybody.